Hello, so today we're going to talk through all the different surfaces that POSCA pens work on. So one of the surfaces that POSCA pens works on is glass, and you can work directly onto the glass and you can create intricate patterns like this one here, or you can really go to town and do something quite opaque. It dries opaque on the glass and you can work directly onto it. There's no need to particularly prep the glass, although I would make sure that it's clean glass and it hasn't got any dust or sort of greasy smears on it, because that might sort of make it difficult for the paint to adhere. So to make this design permanent, you can put it in the oven at 160 degrees, and that's gas mark 2, for 45 minutes. And then after you've done that, after you've baked it on, then you can give it a varnish. Now we can use a clear spray varnish, like this one here, or you can brush on a normal kind of craft varnish like this Mod Podge here, and this is a water-based sealant. So that's for your glass. So POSCA pens also work on ceramics. So this is just, I've used the metallic POSCAs to create this tile design on a ceramic tile. I've also used some lighter POSCAs on this dark ceramic votive, and I'll just show you how easy it is to just apply. You can work straight on and it just sits very nicely on the surface there. Now obviously with a votive, I'm not going to put it in the oven to dry, but with a filled votive, but normally you would bake this onto, you'd do exactly the same as you do with the glass. You'd put it in the oven at 160 for 45 minutes and give it a spray, as I say, with a clear varnish or with a brush on with a water-based sealant. It also works on terracotta as well, so you've got a wealth of options for your pots and votives, and you know, you can create all sorts of fantastic ceramic items. POSCAs also work on stone, so they're very, very popular with stone painters. So you can create all sorts of designs, and you can cover your stone with a pen and then overlay it, so it's nice and covered. And I find these are very good for sort of wedding favours or anything where, you know, just easy stone painting. So that's a very very nice thing to try with your POSCAs. What I would also say is that these, because the stone is porous, they absorb into the stone quite well, so you don't actually have to bake them to fix them. However, if you want to keep them sort of more robust, then again give it a spray with a varnish or a brush on sealant, and that should be fine. Another wonderful thing that POSCAs work on is fabric. So this is a very simple tote bag design, and you can again just work directly onto it. You can put a base layer on, and then once that's dry you can work over it with a different design. So again, it works very nicely on cottons, but it can also work on all kinds of fabric. Do a little test sample beforehand to see what POSCA nib works best on them, because sometimes with a very fine nib you might get a tiny bit of bleeding. So I would just double check. The best ones to work on fabric are the 3M and the 5M. Also, the way you can fix this onto fabric is you just give it an iron on the reverse. So you simply, you just turn it inside out and give it an iron. If you've got something where there's a bit of plastic on it, on an edge like a trainer or something, then just put a cloth over it and then the heat will adhere it as well. This will last for about 20-30 washes, and then it might fade, and then you can just reapply the colour. POSCAs also work on metal and tin. So this is just an ordinary tin mug, and we've just layered some metallic and some quite Christmassy colours over this. And again, to fix that properly, then I would just give that a brush on with a varnish. This is great here because obviously you can just varnish underneath there, so you're not affecting the lid of the cup. POSCAs also work incredibly well on wood. So I'm just showing you this wooden letter here, this MDF letter. If the wood's varnished, I'd give it a bit of a sand just so the paint of the POSCA can adhere more clearly. But as you can see on an MDF board, that's the sort of plain MDF, you can see that it sits on the surface very, very well, and you can layer that with different colours as well. So I'll just show you on this little tag as well, and this tag's quite cute, and again, you know, it's just given a base colour and then you can work over it with your POSCA pen. Now I would say that this would just adhere onto it. I haven't varnished or done anything onto here, but if you wanted it to have a glossy finish, you could just give it a varnish. And POSCA's a great value pen because it works on so many different surfaces, and we haven't mentioned that it also works on paper and cards. So this is just a ordinary sort of craft cardboard box that I've decorated with the white POSCA, and then there's just a little tag there. So you can do very simple designs, but also you can work up some really, really nice designs by blending your POSCAs, blending the different colours, and then overlaying the POSCAs. When they're dry, you can overlay colour. When it's wet, you can blend. So you can produce something as simple as this, or as complex as that. So that's nice and fun. So I've just got some other ideas for the use of your POSCA. So as I say, POSCA works really well on plastic surfaces. This is a lovely little bento box that's just been decorated with POSCA. And we've also worked up a leather jacket with POSCA. So this is the back of this is more of a pleather jacket, but you could work with it on leather. And this was done way over a year ago. You could seal it in with a varnish, again with either the Mod Podge sealant or a spray clear varnish. Or you could, like I've done here, is just leave it and let it weather so it kind of looks a bit more of a vintage look. So there you have it, a POSCA pen, one pen, but with a multitude of uses, which means that you can have a wealth of lovely creative ideas on a range of surfaces.